Grab your favorite mini charm or charm pack and let's make a set of swivel pouches together. You can find the pattern at sewluxfabric.com. Check out the link in the description of the video. Let's get started. The pattern includes a mini tumbler shape that you can trace to create your own template from, or you can use our matching acrylic template to cut the mini tumblers from the 2.5-inch square mini charms. To sew the tumblers together, you're going to alternate their orientation and just line up the long sides, as you can see here, and sew them with a 1/4-inch seam. And you'll just lay out all of the different tumblers according to the pattern so that they are oriented properly. And then you'll sew rows together and press the rows in opposite directions as indicated in the pattern before joining the rows together. By pressing the rows in opposite directions, you can then nest those seams. So you see how they will kind of butt up against each other, and that will help everything lay nice and flat when you press the rows open. This particular pattern includes 3 sizes of pouches. The large size has 3 rows, the medium size has 2 rows, and the small size is also 2 rows but a little bit shorter. Once you get those all pieced, it's time to quilt them. My favorite way to quilt pouches is with soft and stable. You can also use cotton batting if you prefer. For these smaller projects, I really enjoy using a spray based. It holds everything in place really nicely, and I don't have to worry about stopping to remove pins. So you can see here that I'm just spray basting this down onto a piece of that soft and stable foam. And for this particular pouch, I typically will quilt this by just following the outline of the patchwork. You can sew it however you want to. You can do straight lines, you could do a grid, you could do some wavy lines. The nice thing about these pouches and smaller projects is they're a fun opportunity to just try different types of quilting, just because they're a little bit easier to wield under your machine, and it's not as stressful having worked on something for many days or hours. You can see here that now I'm going to trim this to size according to the pattern. I usually start by trimming the long sides, and then we'll trim to the width of the actual pouch. Once you get the sides trimmed up, it's time to mark the corners. In the large size, we are going to be boxing these corners, and so follow the instructions in the pattern for marking the bottom left and right corners of the exterior. You're just going to be drawing a square so that we know where to trim away the fabric and soft and stable. For the medium and small sizes, we're actually going to round these corners instead of boxing them. And so you can either use the template in the pattern to create a circle to follow, or you can use a cup or the bottom of a can. In this case, I'm going to use the lid for my spray base as a template to draw the curve on each of the bottom corners of the exterior panels. Regardless of how I plan to finish my pouch corners, I am going to do stay stitching around all 4 sides of the pouch exterior. You can see that I'm sewing 1/8 of an inch from the edge and inside the lines that I drew for my corners. That way when I trim those areas away, all of the layers are going to stay nice and neat. I like to do this with the soft and stable up and the fabric facing down. That way my feed dogs can move everything through nice and smoothly, and I don't risk sort of like rolling the fabric under with the edge of my foot being so close to the edge of the fabric. So you can see here that all of my stay stitching is complete, and I've gone ahead and trimmed away on the lines that I drew, and you can see that all of those layers are secure, and when I go to box those corners and manipulate the fabric, everything is going to stay nice and neat. Once I have the exterior trimmed, I'm going to make my linings match, and so I'll trim the corners in the same way. Just follow the directions in the pattern for that. Next up, we're going to get the zippers ready, and I will usually start with a zipper that's a little bit longer than I needed to finish, and I'll go ahead and chop off one end of it and measure from the end that I've cut. You see that I have moved the zipper pull out of the way so I don't accidentally chop that off. And then I'm going to mark the appropriate length of the zipper according to the pattern and trim that off on the line. If you're new to this, you may want to just tack that together with a couple stitches so that it stays nice and neat. This isn't my first rodeo, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop it off. You're gonna make the zipper tab by folding a 2-inch wide strip in half and then tucking those into the center fold. And you can see here I'm gonna tuck that raw edge of the zipper in and sew that down, and then tuck the other end in and sew that down as well. I'm gonna trim the tab aligned with the edge of the zipper tape, and then the zipper is ready to install. Okay, we're gonna place that zipper face down on top of the top edge of a pouch exterior, and zipper is gonna be 1 inch shorter than the top of the pouch, and so we're gonna make sure that that's centered. You'll have about 1/2 inch on either side. I like to clip it in place. If you are new to zippers, you can base that zipper in place. If you're more comfortable, you can go ahead and put the lining on top, and so the lining and the exterior are right sides together. So you can see here that the zipper is sort of sandwiched in between, and again the fabric of the exterior and the lining is right sides together. You're going to use a zipper foot. Here I'm using, I sew on a Bernina, and I usually move my needle 3 spots to the left, and I am sewing so that my foot is riding right up against the zipper tape. I'm just kind of doing that by feel. It is about 1/4 inch from the edge. Once I get further down, you can see here I'm going to lift up the top layer and move that zipper pull out of the way so that it doesn't nudge my foot out of position. I do that with the needle down so that everything stays where it should be. And you'll also notice that I'm sewing with the lining side down. This helps keep everything neat because the feed dogs are going to do the work of pulling the fabric through, and since the lining is not interfaced or quilted, it could possibly stretch a little bit. So sewing with the soft and stable on top, I find helps with that. And then you can see here that I have pulled the exterior and lining away from the zipper, and I'm going to just top stitch down the length of the zipper to keep the lining and the exterior from getting caught in the zipper later on, just like that. Then you're just going to repeat that whole process with the other exterior and lining piece. Now that we've installed the zipper, it's time to close out the pouch. You can see here that I'm going to make sure that my zipper is open. That's really important to be able to turn this pouch right side out later. And I'm going to just then make it so that the exterior is right sides together and the linings are right sides together. And I typically will start by clipping at the edge of the top of the soft and stable side. You can see here that I line those up and clip those, and then I'll go and clip the rest of the exterior and then the lining. Once we have the layers all lined up and clipped together, we're going to sew all the way around the edge of the exterior and leave a hole in the lining so that we can turn the pouch right side out later. For the large size, we're going to be boxing these corners, so we're going to set this up the same way. We're going to align the exterior panels together, clipping those at the top of that, and align the lining panels right sides together and clipping all the way around. For this one, since we're going to box the corner, we are not going to sew those corners. We're just going to sew the sides and the bottom pieces, but we are going to leave a hole in the lining just like we did for the curved edge pieces. Just follow the instructions and the diagram in the pattern. You can see here that I'm going to go ahead and start with the sides. I am working on the large size here first. I always like to start on the exterior end and then work my way to the lining. I'm actually going to stop here once I get to the lining and tuck in one of my little labels, just so you can see how I do that if you have woven labels or a label that you wanted to include on the inside. And I always like to backstitch when I'm boxing corners so that nothing pops open later when I go to pinch those closed. So I'm going to go back and do the opposite side now, and then you're going to see me close up the bottom and then the bottom of the lining, being sure to leave about a 3 or 4 inch opening in the bottom of that lining side. You can see here as I'm closing up the lining, I like to start in the center and work my way toward the edge. Sometimes when I start on the edge of fabric, my feed dogs get a little excited and bring my fabric down into the machine, and so I find when I start in the middle, it does not do that. So once we have all the sides closed up, now it's time to box the corners. So you're going to see here that I'm going to kind of pull the exterior away from each other and pinch that corner closed. I'm going to line up those seams and then come back to my machine and sew a 1/4 inch. And I am going to backstitch at the beginning and the end just to hold everything secure. You're going to repeat that process to box the opposite corner of the exterior as well as the 2 lining corners. For the medium and small sizes, these corners are curved, and whenever I'm sewing a curved bottom, I usually will start in the center of the bottom of the exterior, and I'm going to backstitch a little bit when I do that and come around the corner slowly and then move toward the lining. I always like to start on the exterior and move toward the lining. That way, as I'm coming over that transition, if anything shifts, it's in the lining, and that's not as big of a deal. I'm going to backstitch there in the lining because I'm going to leave a hole to turn that later, and then I'm going to bring this back to where I started and be sure to backstitch so everything is nice and secure in that center of the exterior, and come back around the other side onto the lining. Regardless of size of the pouch, they're then going to gently push the pouch through the hole in the lining to turn it right sides out, and use your fingers to carefully press the pouch into shape. And I try never to use a sharp object to do this so that I don't accidentally pop open any stitches. So it's best to just use your fingers and press that into shape. You can use an iron if you need to, and then you'll just close up that lining with a row of stitches. You can see here I'm going to do the same thing with the large size, and those corners are boxed, so I'm going to gently push out those corners as well as the corners up at the top by the zipper. I hope this video has been helpful and that you'll enjoy making your own set of swivel pouches. Thanks for watching.